Hello, welcome back guys to another video. This time about my AFCON 2025, the final prediction. The final awaits. So, two teams, Senegal versus Morocco. One team will win this. One team will win their second ever AFCON. One team will win their second ever AFCON in their history. Morocco or Senegal? That's the question. Now Senegal. They made the final 4 years ago, in 2022, where they beat Egypt, and Morocco trying to win their first ever AFCON in 2020. For the first ever AFCON in 2026 since 1976. Wow. Been 50 years since the last time they won an AFCON, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And now, I will give you my prediction. And trust me, you might actually stay, you might try and stay until the end, because I may or may not have an upset in this video, because I really like making upsets. So in this video, I will be giving everything Morocco and Senegal, recapping everything they've done, and I'm gonna say which team is stronger to win in the AFCON final. So let's get right into it. Starting off with Senegal. Now, they got put in the group with Botswana, Benin, and DR Congo. Now first, in their first match day, they beat Botswana 3-0, 2 goals from Nicolas Jackson. Yep, Nicolas Jackson is a really good striker for them. Then they tied to probably a much difficult opponent, DR Congo, 1-1, thanks to a goal from Sadio Mane. Then they played Benin in the in the final game of the group stage, and of course they won 3-0. Now they have to play Sudan in the round of 16. But now, fun fact, Sudan actually went up 1-0 up in the game. But then, of course, Senegal turned it around and beat them 3-1 thanks to a goal from Ibrahima Mbaye. And another fun fact, he became the youngest ever player to score at an AFCON with 17 years and 344 days. Wow. The PSG gem is playing really good at AFCON. Probably an underrated youngster, I have to say. Now in the quarterfinals, they had to play a much easier opponent, Mali. Now Mali, this team, they beat Tunisia in the round of 16, and of course they beat Mali and prevailed to the semifinals, where they had to play Egypt in the semifinals. And now these two teams had a recent history, which Senegal had mostly won most of their games against Egypt, because the record was it was pretty good. Senegal's record against Egypt, because in last AFCON final, Egypt lost to them on penalties 0-0, and then Senegal won thanks to Sadio Mane. And then in the World Cup qualifiers, Egypt won, but then Senegal won, so Senegal could qualify to the World Cup. And even Mo Salah missed his penalty, Sadio Mane. And guess what? Sadio Mane scored again. He loves scoring against Egypt. And Egypt won 1-0. So they advanced to the final, Senegal. Now moving on to their players. They have players like Sadio Mane, Kalidou Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy in goal, Ibrahima Mbaye, as I previously mentioned, Pape Matar Sarr, Ismaila Sarr, Iliman Ndiaye, etc. Senegal are playing really good, and they have a very incredibly strong squad. They have a really strong squad, and could they win AFCON again since 4 years? Let's find out, because now we have to talk about the hosts, Morocco. Now Morocco, they got put in the group with Mali, Zambia, and Comoros. Now the opening game against Comoros was pretty easy. They won 2-0 thanks to a goal from El Kabi, and then they tried to Mali 1-1 and then they beat Zambia 3-0 with El Kabi scoring 2 bicycle kick goals in the group stage, which is just insane. Now In the round of 16, they had to play Tanzania. Well, Tanzania were probably the worst one out of the third place teams, and they barely qualified because they didn't even win. They actually won a game, but it wasn't thanks to an own goal. But it should have been easy for Morocco, but actually they only won 1-0, which wasn't pretty impressive because like they had most of the shots. I think they deserved to win by more, but Tanzania pulled off a good fight. Okay, so now then in the quarterfinals, they had to play Cameroon, and yeah, they beat them 2-0, and they had to advance to the semifinals, where they had to play Nigeria. Well, that Nigeria team that beat Algeria was a totally Nigeria team we saw from the World Cup qualifiers, which obviously they failed to qualify to the World Cup, and now they reached the AFCON semifinals. Dang, that is just crazy. And now Nigeria, they have players like Aromena Lukman, that dangerous attack. Aromena Lukman, Akor Adams, Victor Osimhen, etc. Like Nigeria were like a really good team, and I really thought that Nigeria were gonna upset Morocco. I really thought that, but it didn't happen. Well, yeah, Morocco completely dominated the game with more possession, 75% possession, and Nigeria only had 25. They even had double the amount of shots, 16 shots, well, Nigeria only had 2 shots, which is just crazy. And then, but the game finished 0-0 and had to go to penalties. And guess what? Morocco won on penalties thanks to Yassine Bono. He is key to the Moroccan national team. Because if it goes to penalties, Morocco will most likely win because they have a penalty expert, Yassine Bono, in goal. Now, they're in the final. So, moving on to their players. They have players like Ayoub El Kabi, as I previously mentioned, Yassine Bono, Ashraf Hakimi, Brahim Diaz, the current AFCON top goal scorer, Amrabat, Mazraoui, Morocco have they have really good players. Even also like there are like so many good players, like you can go on and on and on. But so far I've said like they're key players. And yeah, now moving on to my final prediction. Well, you know what? Let's just say the third place team. The third place team between Nigeria and Egypt. I would say Egypt are gonna win. That's my prediction. And moving on to the final. Okay, this prediction might be very tough because these games just keep getting tougher and tougher to call. Because like these two teams are really good. Senegal have a deadly squad that can punish you on the attack, and Morocco have not conceded a goal from open play. And you know what? With the home fans, like in Morocco, like they've been really good. The home fans, like pretty insane. They go crazy. Like they even like throw fireworks at the game. That is crazy. And yeah, like Morocco fans are really peak because like they have crazy old ultras. And like Morocco having like the advantage to play at home because those fans are going to be loud as hell. I can guarantee you that. If you're going to the game, those fans are going to be loud as hell. And that's why my prediction is going to be Senegal 1, Morocco 1, goes to penalties, and of course Morocco are going to win. So final score 1-1 after extra time, goes to penalties, and Morocco wins on penalties. So yeah, those are my final predictions. I'm very sorry, Senegal. I just didn't want to jinx Morocco again. So yeah, let me think. So I want to hear your predictions. Put them in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you at the next time.